Hello, I'm Lanisha DeBartoleben, President and CEO of the Northwest African American Museum. We are delighted to partner with the Space Needle, Chihuly Garden and Glass, One Vibe Africa, and Wari to present this showcase of talent, art, and activism in celebration of Juneteenth. These partnering organizations all believe in the power of the arts to inform, inspire, and ignite change. We at the Northwest African American Museum advance justice and equity. We cultivate educational empowerment, and we center and celebrate the Black arts, history, and culture. That's why this year, the Northwest African American Museum helped make Juneteenth become an official holiday in Washington State. We also extended Juneteenth into an entire 9-day commemoration with activities throughout the entire week, remembering and reflecting on this important history. We honor the ancestors who learned of their freedom 2.5 years too late. And we remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "None of us are free until we are all free." 365 days a year, we celebrate heritage and inspire hope, unity, and informed action. This program tonight is as much about art as it is about dismantling systemic racism. We congratulate all of the artists who are featured tonight, and we welcome all of you to attend the Juneteenth Jamboree, which will be held on tomorrow, Saturday, June 19th at Judkins Park, where these talented artists will perform and share messages that matter with our community. There will be something for everyone at the Juneteenth Jamboree held at Judkins Park, including food and music and live storytelling and so much more. You don't want to miss 12 noon to 6 p.m. Judkins Park in the Central District, where all of these partners and artists will come together with community to commemorate Juneteenth. This year, the focus of Juneteenth is on lifting our voices, because your voice has always mattered and it always will. Thank you.
Juneteenth, Emancipation Day, Jubilee Day, June 19th. Juneteenth is the day that we commemorate and celebrate the end of legalized slavery in the United States of America. It marks the day when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved persons were freed. The troops' arrival came a full 2.5 years after President Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth is considered the longest running African American holiday. My name is Patrice Bell. I am the Director of External Affairs at the Northwest African American Museum, and we welcome you to today's event. Tonight, you are tuning in to our Juneteenth Artist Collective in collaboration with the Space Needle and Chihuly Garden and Glass. We have 3 amazing artists that we are ready to share with you tonight. Many people submitted, but these are our winners. The theme for this year's Artist Collective is Sankofa. Sankofa means go back and get. It's symbolized by a bird with its head turned backwards, while its feet face forward, carrying a precious egg in its mouth. The proverb, "It is not wrong to go back for that which you have forgotten," demonstrates that there is wisdom in learning from the past, which ensures a strong future. Sankofa was chosen as the theme for this year's collective to educate about the dark past, acknowledge our current state, and shine a light into a brighter future. Today we introduce to you our poetry winner, Patrice Wells. A native of the Midwest, Patrice has been living in the Pacific Northwest for 20 plus years. Inspired by her experiences as a Black woman in her 40s, navigating life, loneliness, and what it means to be a writer, Patrice's poetry speaks to her experiences and observations about the world all around her. Writing is a way for Patrice to connect with not only the world around her and her truths, but our shared truths. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Patrice Wells, our poetry winner.
Nomenclature, a poem to science fiction author Nnedi Okorafor. One day, I will have a daughter and name her Onyesunwu, who fears death, so she will not live with the worry of dying poor and Black. Or I will name her Binti, so she knows her lineage is rich with history. Perhaps I will name her Sankofa, so she knows there's something worth finding even amongst what's broken. One day, as my mother did with me, I will give her a name others cannot pronounce. I will say, do not let them shorten what I gave you. There is power in what we call things. So much of my art deals with my experience as a Black woman. Being able to share my art with my community on Juneteenth makes my voice feel heard and makes it feel heard to the people that matter to me. The main way that I embrace Sankofa is in my art. A lot of my art looks at the past, looks at my experiences and the experiences of my ancestors, and pulls from that nuggets of wisdom that help me move forward. I use it in my writing. I use it in the way I cook my mother's recipes. Sankofa fits into my art by drawing on specific instances from my childhood and my past and taking those and reflecting upon them. In the poem, I talk about my experiences with naming and how we're named as Black people. And that's something that's very important to me. As a little girl, I didn't understand these things, but now as a woman, I'm able to draw back to these experiences that were given to me and put them in my art. My own personal history with art is kind of full of gaps. And it wasn't until the pandemic that I actually thought, maybe I'll do something with this. A poet in Scotland who had passed away, and she was Black and Scottish, and it inspired me to start writing again. Since the pandemic, I've actually been putting time into creating more art and writing. I think it's important to recognize and celebrate Juneteenth. There's so much that we can do in this country to actually understand the history that African Americans have experienced here, starting with the enslavement of the people. The message that I have that I would like to share to non-Blacks is this. In the last year, I've seen so many of you do so much, and I'm appreciative of that. The Black Lives Matter movement has grown by leaps and bounds, but a lot of that is due to our own pain and trauma. What I would say to you is, do you really care, and are you doing enough to show that? Are you just convincing yourself that you do?
Wari is a Black art space. We wanted to make sure that Black artists had a chance to say that they were able to show in a Seattle gallery, which is few and far between. Wari connects with the community because we are the community. The founders of Wari wanted to make sure that we not only looked at being an art space, but being a place that discussed and kind of created moments of inclusion. And really being able to say that, yes, you can be in a community that you were raised in or you were a part of and be an active member of that community even to this day. Juneteenth for Wari is a time of celebrating true independence. It's a time of really looking at resistance and looking at inclusion in a community. I think Juneteenth is important to the Central District and to the Black community in Seattle because it gives us a chance to really rejoice. I think when you look at being in the African American community, there's celebrations, but there's a lot of struggle as well. And so being able to kind of have that joy in the struggle, and Juneteenth is really what that stands for. In the spirit of Sankofa, the Central District can kind of shape the community in terms of looking back at the past and looking at the idea of these independent businesses that were here and that people were constantly supporting within the community. So looking again at inclusion and saying that, no, you don't have to be a corporation to thrive. And we have seen that happen in the Central District with Liberty Bank Building and the businesses there. And it's going to continue to 23rd and Union. So hopefully this will be an ongoing process and you'll be able to see more people that look like the original inhabitants of the Central District mixing with the people that are here now. Listen, honestly, I think what I'd really want non-BIPOC people to know is do your research. You know, the information is out there the same way that a lot of people of color had to go out and search for this information. You can do it too. Like there's nothing that I know that you're not going to know if you Google it. And so it's really important to inform yourself so that you are not only aware of the problem, but you're not being part of it. Wari is an amazing art space. We are so happy that we were asked to be involved in this project. This is what we really want to do, is kind of reach out and acknowledge Black artists in this community. We are open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so you are more than welcome to come by and see what all the hype is about.
Our visual artist winner tonight is known as Yazzie. An aspiring young artist and high school student right here in Seattle, Yazzie was introduced to art through an after-school program when she was just 7 years old. Her interest in art had been a bit sporadic, but with the COVID-19 pandemic, where the awareness of social injustice and systemic racism was amplified on a national scale, she was inspired to embrace her art to express her feelings and connect more with her community. Yazzie actually painted in CHOP, the Capitol Hill organized protest. She created art symbolizing love and hope. Ladies and gentlemen, our visual art winner, Yazzie.
With the pictures that I picked, I wanted to pick powerful pictures to show the significance of what happened last year at CHOP. All the pictures in this piece of art is from CHOP, or downtown protests from last year. The actual pictures that I took were of the cop car on fire and the background image, all of the people in the crowds at CHOP. I picked to show the Space Needle because I wanted people to know, like, right when they looked at it, that this is a Seattle art piece and these are the things that happened in Seattle. Juneteenth is very important to celebrate and recognize because as African Americans, we don't have a lot of history, positive history that we can look back on. So to me, it's very important. To me, Juneteenth is a day to recognize my ancestors and what they've done, because I know that later on I'm gonna be a future ancestor. My personal history with art is going to like after school classes when I was in elementary school or summer programs, and then moving forward during 2020 summer, I got more into art by going down to CHOP and expressing my art there. And then after that, I started getting into local art programs and entering myself into exhibitions. Before going to CHOP, I was kind of nervous to go there because a lot of the things that I seen on the news were mostly negative. But then when I got there, there was a lot of loving people in the community that supported me while I was there. But also while I was there, I seen not so good things, but I seen good things too. I painted the wood panel, a red heart with a yellow fist in the middle, just to show love and unity at that time because like people were really angry. So the piece of art is at the Converge Media Studio. A lot of the art from CHOP is not accessible right now, so I'm very grateful that Converge Media has been able to take it in. To anyone who wants to get into art, I would say look at other artists and see what they're doing, and then do it your way and how you like it. And then from there, look at your community and see what's going on, like what programs do they offer. And from there, I think you should be good.
Please welcome tonight our music winner, Shayna Shepherd. Shayna is a singer, songwriter, and vocal coach based right here in Seattle, Washington. Known for her pervasive style as a frontwoman to the soul grunge band Barracks, Shayna recently embraced piano and local influences of jazz, soul, and folk, bringing out an introspective thematic level of songwriting. Her art is all about the influence of connection between community and self-love. Shayna has performed at CHOP, the Capitol Hill organized protests, and has worked on building an artist series in local parks here in Seattle. Ladies and gentlemen, our music winner, Shayna Shepherd.
I hate crossing the track. Reminds me that every reaction just keeps holding me back to the front of the line where I preached while I pounded rose glasses of wine. I suppose perhaps that Miss Stein got it wrong when she told us Rosie's rose rather red, but reading is so fundamental and keeping me mentally fed. So they said loud on the intercom, but it's often quite hard to hear from the back of the bus. I fall into the trap, the lie that my brilliance is balanced by buddy that he wants to tap. Like a keg filled with the blackest gunpowder, I find silty substance of dread. I once read of a dream that a reverend had, for he was shot in the head. But who knows, the books that I borrowed from Dewey had pages ripped out in the back. Not a fact often spoken on, but it's often quite hard to hear from the back of the bus. Oh, pardon me, but won't you please adhere to my request? You're standing strong right on my back, so why not take a rest? No, not on your laurels, but if you want, be my should be oppressed. But if you find that bite too bitter for you to digest, enjoy your front seat on our bus and keep on journeying west. I'll keep waiting on that train to Jordan with the rest of the mammies, martyrs, mothers, daughters in their Sunday best, singing singing but it's often quite hard to hear. It's often quite hard to hear. Yes, it's often quite hard to hear. From the back of the bus.
This past year and this past couple of years, the Black Lives Matter movement has affected my life so impactfully, just as it's affected all of our lives. Because the power of social media has brought to the forefront a very true tale of continued segregation and disenfranchisement in this country. And growing up as a Black woman, I grew up as a millennial, which basically meant for me that my parents' parents talked about segregation and isolation from other bodies of people, but that it was so hard and distilled for me to feel it in such a way, even though it was affecting me my whole life. And over the past couple of years, as I've grown as a woman, as an individual, and grown in my Blackness, art has become important to me. Art has become a necessary means for communicating my feelings and a necessary way to survive in a world that makes me feel so isolated and seen in my Blackness. I never really performed my own original work before moving here to Seattle. I studied classical voice, and before that was really involved in community choirs and gospel repertoire as a vocalist. Actually was really separating from art as a creative means of expression, because I was really collegiate with it for a long time. After moving here, I started to play the piano, I started to write my own songs. Now I'm starting to develop my own little world of music that is just been really fulfilling for me. The song that I performed is called Back of the Bus. It's a song that I wrote over the course of 2 years working in nonprofits. At first, I started writing it about the microaggressions I was feeling, just being a regular girl, an African-American woman in a land of lots of white people, where my color just kind of overshadowed my culture. And I started writing it about that, and there's a lot of frustration that I put into that song so that I could get through my workday. I finished it from a place of joy, of just really feeling like I really was connecting honestly with my Blackness, and just really feeling the joy of finally feeling belonging, but not necessarily because of the people and places around me, but just within myself, and just an acknowledgement that the work has to continue, but it's okay to rest and have a moment of fragility and honesty with yourself. To non-BIPOC people, I would say, I love you so much, and thank you for this space to celebrate my brothers and sisters, and thank you so much for your ability to acknowledge the space that we require in order to heal and create our own worlds and develop our own industries and to make a lasting imprint on the country that belongs to us all. And thank you for standing up for what you know is the right thing to do.
What a night this has been. Such an amazing time. Congratulations to all of our winners. We also want to extend a special thank you to the Space Needle and Chihuly Garden and Glass for hosting this amazing experience. Thank you to One Vibe Africa and Wari for their partnership. And thank you, our viewers, for sticking with us all week long for NAAM'S Juneteenth week. But it's not over yet. We'll see you tomorrow at Judkins Park from 12 to 6 for NAAM'S Juneteenth Jamboree. It's going to be an amazing day full of food, fun, and family-friendly entertainment for all. You can even see some of tonight's performers there live. So come on out to Judkins Park from 12 to 6. We will also have vaccinations on site and free lift rides. So check out NAAM'S website to get more details. Thank you again for all of your support, and we'll see you tomorrow.